What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of The Real Hero Show. Nick here with you as always, and in this episode I will be covering The Shrink Next Door that premieres on Apple TV Plus, episode 7 entitled Breakthrough. There will be spoilers if you haven't seen it at this point. I know I'm releasing the video about a week late. My apologies. Life happened, a lot of stuff to catch up on, but I'm here. I'm recording this video, publishing it. You'll still be able to watch it, and I hope you enjoy it. Again, spoilers ahead, but I'm sure you already know that. I'm going to try and summarize as best as possible and provide some just insight of my own into what I think will happen in the finale, which is also premiering tonight, which I will get to you on time, I promise. So without further ado, Marty has some health issues, and he has to go to the hospital. He's a bit taken aback by the time it'll take for him to be out. And the entire time he's there, he's waiting for his pal, his buddy, his mano y mano, his family, as he says. Because he left Ike as his next of kin, not his own sister, who we haven't seen in episodes, and at this point, decades. But Ike never shows. Now, I don't know if you've ever been in this position where you've been sick or been in the hospital and your friends haven't checked up on you, let alone your family members. It's not a good feeling. And at that point, you start to wonder. And we were talking about this before. When is it that Marty wakes up? And because we know that episode 8 of The Shrink Next Door is the series finale, it means that we're not actually going to get a second season. So whatever happens in the finale happens in the finale, and that is it. I'm really curious to see how this all sort of panned out in real life. So again, I'll probably watch or listen to the actual podcast and sort of compare things and whatnot. Maybe we'll do another video after that. We'll see. But Ike, he's throwing a party at the Hamptons. Marty escapes, leaves the hospital, goes to see this party, and of course, Ike being Ike and throwing that manipulation out there like it's free candy to Marty. For a second, I thought Marty was going to stand up to him at that point. And I think, you can see Marty's reaction. And again, I think, Will Ferrell, I almost said Will Smith. Will Ferrell has been doing such a great job in this role. Same with Paul Rudd. And just the way he's just emotionless and just has this dumbfounded look on his face, flabbergasted that this has happened. And I think he's almost leading Ike into believing that he's okay. But I think in reality, in Marty's head, he's not. Especially when he goes to his koi fish and realizes that Adam is dead. His fish that had problems that he asked Ike to take care of. And we all knew that Ike wasn't going to do that, right? Come on. I think that was the nail in the coffin between them, at least from Marty. Ike is just going to keep milking that cow as long as possible, and it's when Marty finally buries Adam, the koi fish. So we see the scene from the very beginning of this series when he buries those stupid cows. And I think it's also pretty interesting while Marty is at the Hampton house and Bonnie's concerned about Marty and wants to shut down the party, and Ike's just like, no, it's okay, he's fine, all is well in the Hamptons. And even when the whole place is trashed, Ike is sort of unaware about it and thinks that, oh man, we must have thrown a hell of a thrasher, right? But really, it's Marty. It's destroying everything, and rightfully so. I kind of wondered how fun that scene would have been for Will Ferrell just to destroy everything. And I wanted to touch on something because of his health problem, because of him destroying something. The amount of work that he put into that house, the amount of work that he put into it with Marty. He had a hernia, and again, I'm sure most of you out there, or maybe all of you that will watch this video, knows what a hernia is. The possibilities of having a hernia the amount of yard work alone that he did probably was the cause of it, right? Uh, and Marty's he's slaving away at everything for Ike. He's written 9 books in this ridiculous series, which I thought was maybe slightly cool just for a second. Maybe we'll get a spinoff between Paul Rudd and Will Ferrell and like a black and white crime drama. Who knows? That was probably one of the only decent parts of this episode, because there's just cringe all over the place everywhere else, right? And I think right afterward, when we see the next scene, Ike is actually meeting another patient, Claire, and we see the same thing, right? Yeah, we saw it the week before when Ike was telling Miriam about Miriam's issues with her mother, and rather Miriam was telling Marty about her issues with her mother, and what Ike told Miriam to stop talking to her mother. We see the same damn thing here. We see Ike telling Claire to block her mother and her father on Facebook because they're toxic people. Her own parents. Ridiculous. Granted, Facebook in 2010 wasn't as toxic as it is now by any means. But even then, I don't think it was that bad. And again, it's probably just the dumbest things that she's probably thinking. Really, you want me to block them? They're my parents, and that's just more of the manipulation. Which I'm kind of curious for the real life factor. How many people Dr. Hirschkopf, manipulated in his lifetime, and how many people he just really misdiagnosed and treated poorly, and really didn't offer any real therapy to. I'm curious within the actual real podcast. But so far, we've seen it at least 3 times between Miriam, Claire, and Marty. And the funny thing is, Bonnie, his wife, I think, I don't want to say she's fallen prey to her husband, because she definitely knows and doesn't really allow certain things to happen, even though she's just kind of along the ride. She has a moral compass to a certain extent, whereas Ike does not. And it's after Claire leaves. Marty doesn't show up for his appointment. Ike's kind of freaking out, makes some phone calls, and goes to the shop where AFC was. It's gone. They cleaned shop and left. As we knew from the previous episode, they were thinking about going to New Jersey. And this is probably one of the best scenes and moments, I think, not only in this episode, but possibly in the entire show. And again, it's one of those moments where I wonder what it was like in real life for this moment to potentially happen. I don't know if it did or if it was similar, if it's just an analogy this way. But when Ike shows up, Marty and Bruce that are in this moving truck, they see Ike before Ike sees them, and it's super awkward, right? And Ike just wants to talk to Marty, and Bruce is like standing tall with his arms crossed, like, we all know Bruce, and pretty much the entire crew at AFC does not like Ike. And so he, I think the entire crew essentially puts Ike in a position where he has to stand up to Marty here and say what he needs to say. Of course he does, and Marty walks down the ramp. Doesn't really get in Ike's face like aggressively, but just stands face to face, and it's Marty versus Ike with a show. And it's at this point Marty says, "Oh yeah, by the way, there's no private offices here. It's just everything's open. We're all free. We're all here. Everyone can see everyone. Everyone can talk to everyone. There aren't any hidden conversations or plans or plots going on. No one's scheming anything. We're just here working." But of course, Ike tries to manipulate Marty by saying, you're wasting money doing this and doing that. And, you know, this is, again, one of the best parts where you can kind of see Marty he looks like he might fall into one of those little anxiety attacks, as he has, a couple times before in this show. But he learns to control it. He's learned to control it. And I think it's one of those moments where he's realized enough is enough, and who knows what has really come about with conversations we don't see in the show that may have taken place in real life here. And then he says, then don't come. You don't want to be here? Don't come, because you're saying it's going to take you hours to drive back and forth from New York to New Jersey, and you're going to get stuck in traffic. That's fine. Don't come. It's that simple. And it's a great response that you can relate to a lot of conversations and a lot of scenarios in real life. You know, someone has a problem with it, then don't come, because this shop isn't closing. They're doing the right thing. You know, unlike Ike, Marty knows a thing or two about saving money and preserving it and using it in the profiting realm, whereas Ike just wants to spend because he's greedy. But it's after Ike leaves, and there, you know, there's a huge round of applause. Everyone's clapping, everyone's cheering for Marty, and like, I remember watching it and I smiled because, again, thinking about this part happening in real life is just, and knowing, at least for a certain extent, even in the show, you feel bad for Marty. You feel bad for this person in real life. And you can't say, oh, well, he's an idiot for not recognizing it. And look, people fall prey to stuff like this and manipulation and the easiest schemes from people. You know, abusive relationships, whether it be, business or friendships or otherwise. It happens. You know, I think majority of us have probably been in a situation like that and fallen prey to manipulation. It sucks. I myself have been a part of it in a relationship before. But you finally wake up, and it's one of the best feelings ever, I feel like, because you don't have this grip around you. You can actually breathe, and you feel free again. You feel like you can actually do things that you wanted to do. And Marty wanted to move AFC to New Jersey. And he did, and they're profiting. They're not drowning in debt or hurting and looking to possibly going the route of bankruptcy. So again, great moment, loved it, smiled when it happened. But even better, because of that moment, he's like, "Are you firing me, Marty?" "No, I'm not firing you, Dr. Hirschkopf. Norman Horowitz is." Bam. Sorry if that was loud. It's like you've been served. Mic drop, everything, just great. Again, sorry for the clap there. I know that was kind of loud. But, and what a way to end the episode. Like, and, it was just, I can't really say anything else other than it was just a great feeling, a great moment. And, I know, again, the finale is airing, which I might end up watching it and recording right afterward and try and get this video out as soon as possible. But the finale of The Shrink Next Door should be very interesting. Again, I'm really looking forward to it. And I'll have a video out for you guys and gals and everyone else soon enough. Appreciate the patience, appreciate the support. If you are new here and you liked some thoughts that I've been able to share in this video, maybe some rambling, maybe a loud clap, I apologize again for any bad audio from my clap. It was more of a smack though, right? Anyway, leave your comments. Leave a comment if that annoyed you. But please don't dislike the video for it. And hit that subscribe button, while you're at it. I'm going to be trying to cover a lot more content, especially from Apple TV Plus. I know that Servant Season 3 is coming out in January. I have not watched season 1 or 2 yet, but I will have some time here during this holiday break to catch up on season 1 and 2 of Servant, and I'll be ready to go because I think it's like January 21st, so I've got some time, but there's a bunch of other stuff coming out. The Witcher's coming out tomorrow as well. We've also, or today, I guess, as this video is airing, we've got The Matrix, we've got Spider-Man No Way Home, we've got the finale of Hawkeye, we've got the start of Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett from Disney Plus. Then there's Cobra Kai season 4 on Netflix. So I'm going to be busy, but my promise to you all for your continued support is to provide some informative and maybe hopefully entertaining comments and videos. So until next time, again, appreciate all the support. Much love from Nick here on The Real Hero Show. And until next time, I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace.